I am Syrian Kellen. This is not my real voice. It is a computer-generated artificial intelligence voice. You may know me from my long career in both theatre and movies. I am most well known for playing Gandalf in the movie Lord of the Rings. Today, I will narrate this presentation produced by Michael F. Reber. What are its? Before I can address what are its, I first need to address the hierarchical paradigm. The world is in a paradigm shift. For 5,000 years, humanity has lived under hierarchical systems. Today, the world is traversing into a new paradigm. It is called the hierarchical paradigm. Examples include artificial intelligence and robotics. More importantly, it represents a new way of thinking. Instead of thinking linearly, people in this new paradigm think hierarchically. This includes thinking creatively and systemically. Sir Arthur Koestler was the first person to write extensively about hierarchies. He published The Ghost in the Machine in 1967 and Janus in 1978. Because there were no words for hierarchies, he created the word holon. Holos is the Greek for whole. On is the suffix for part. Hierarchy is a system of holons. Hierarchies eliminate the dichotomies of far and close, small and large, inside and outside. The universe is full of hierarchies. Look at the picture to the left of your screen. A holon is both a part and a whole of an entity. The entity is a hierarchy or super-holon. There are many examples of hierarchies. The human body is a hierarchy. Look at the illustration to your left. This is a hierarchy of the human body. The human body is made of molecules, cells, tissues, and organs. The base holon includes molecules. The final holon is the human body. Though we illustrate the body in a hierarchical hierarchy, the body is not a hierarchy. As I previously stated, hierarchies eliminate the time and space dichotomies. Each part of the body operates in synergy with the whole. If the body did not function according to hierarchical principles, you would be dead. Another example of a hierarchy is the universe, such as our own Milky Way galaxy. To describe the galaxy hierarchically, we can imagine nested layers of cosmic organization. Sagittarius, which is the supermassive black hole, the center of the Milky Way, anchors the galaxy's gravitational structure and influences stars near the core. It is a whole in itself, dense, ancient, and mysterious. Our own solar system, located about 26,000 light-years from Sagittarius, in one of the spiral arms of the galaxy, called the Orion Arm. It orbits the galactic center, roughly once every 225 to 250 million years. It is also a whole in itself, home to planets, moons, and life on our precious planet Earth. Another example of a hierarchy is the organizational hierarchy. Similar to the human body hierarchy illustration, an organizational hierarchy has base holons, a final holon, and first and second level holons in between. Professor Piero Melli of Pavia University in Italy refers to this as an organization. It is a social system where individuals choose to become specialized parts of a larger structure, coordinated by role, function, timing, and working toward a shared goal that cannot be achieved alone. In summary, it is many parts, one purpose, functioning as a living whole. A final example of a hierarchy is the network hierarchy. It is a dynamic system where each part is a whole in itself, with agency and purpose. Parts are nested within larger wholes, forming layers of meaning and function. Relationships are horizontal and vertical, allowing collaboration across levels. Growth happens through connection, not control, like mycelium or constellations. In summary, it is wholeness. Within wholeness, each node, a living center, in a larger pattern. Now that we understand the concept of hierarchies, let us address Holarchical Innovation Teams. We will provide a basic definition of a Holarchical Innovation Team. For a more formal definition, please refer to Reber's paper on HITs, terms and definitions. HITs are self-organizing teams that form, disband, and reform around innovation briefs. Each member is a Holon, a whole, with unique strengths, and a part of a larger mission. HITs operate within a holarchy, not a hierarchy. Roles rotate, feedback flows, creativity flourishes, balancing autonomy and collaboration, and in alignment with combinatory systems theory to maximize creativity, efficiency, and ethics, blending systems thinking and real-world impact with an emphasis on human dignity. The HIT's philosophy is a tripartite philosophy. The base of the HIT is human dignity. Human dignity is actualized by creative work. Creative work is best done by holarchical combinatory value creation. Holarchical combinatory value creation is best achieved by HITs. Human dignity is defined as acknowledgement of, recognition with, and empathy for an individual's irredeemable worth that is to be progressively actualized by oneself and with others in order to foster the complementarity and congeniality of personal excellences. Human dignity can be expressed as an equation. Human dignity equals acknowledgement plus recognition plus empathy. Creative work is comprised of 4 synergistic elements: live, create, endure, love. The meaning of live is the living out a self-actualizing life. The meaning of create is creating from one's imagination something of value for society to enjoy. Enjoy is enjoying created value in terms of utilitarian and self-actualizing purposes. Love means willing the good of the other. Before we can move further, we must address combinatory systems theory, or CST, developed by Professor Piero Melli of Webster University in Italy. We will provide a basic definition of CST. For a more formal definition, please refer to Reber's paper on HITs, terms and definitions. In the picture to the left, a crowd of people at a football game are performing the wave. The wave is a combination of each person's individual actions. An individual can be identified as a single holon. When an individual combines his or her actions with others, we call it combinatory action. The definition of combinatory action is: members of a HIT act in ways that are shaped by shared global information. This information is produced and updated by the members themselves. Actions may be conscious or unconscious, but they align with the HIT's mission. Micro-level behaviors or individual choices influence macro-level patterns or team dynamics. Feedback between micro and macro levels helps the HIT adapt and evolve. The result is a self-synchronizing system where purpose drives behavior and behavior refines purpose. Now, that we have an understanding of the HIT's philosophy, let us explore the science of HITs. Drs. Reber and Gottsöller, in their HITs philosophy paper, write that holarchical combinatory value creation exists when self-actualizing individuals form themselves into a holarchical social unit within a combinatory manner as a means to establish synergies that in turn create a value-added product for society. This illustration is a basic causal loop diagram that shows the dynamics of how holarchical combinatory value creation operates within a larger organization. I will explain more later in my presentation. In addition, Reber and Gottsoller state that hierarchical combinatory value creation is holism, self-actualization ethics, systems thinking, with systems thinkers best suited for a fast-paced, interconnected, and chaotic world, self-generated and self-organized. Now, let us consider this in regards to the confectionery industry. Reber Chocolate Company is a famous confectionery company that is 160 years old. It is headquartered in Bad Reichenhall, Germany, with elegant cafes, cakes, and, of course, Mozart kuchens. Reber is only a little over 30 minutes from Mozart's birthplace in Salzburg, Austria. Now, let us suppose that even if Reber is a 160-year-old company, it utilizes Holarchical Innovation Teams. We have 3 people who create a hit. They are Jack, Jane, and Sarah. Their mission is to create a chocolate kuchen that people will want to eat and give as gifts to others. Let us explore more deeply the science of hits. Here, we have what we call a hits matrix. At Reber Company, Jane is an expert in R&D. While they are in the lounge, they have a conversation about chocolate kuchens. Jane asks, would it not be wonderful if we could create a better chocolate kuchen that is more unique, more attractive, and tastier than the current kuchen? Jack and Sarah think that would be a wonderful idea, because each one of them is an expert in key functions of Reber Company. They decide to create a hit. Look at the left of the screen. The 3 disciplines of R&D, manufacturing, and marketing are essential functions to develop a chocolate kuchen. Therefore, we say each discipline equals a hierarchy. Now, look at the center of the screen. This arrangement is called a hits matrix. Now, let us return to our causal loop diagram in order to explore the dynamics of a hit as a combinatory system. This is a heuristic model of Reber Company's hit for Jack, Jane, and Sarah. As we stated previously, their mission is to create a chocolate kuchen that people will want to eat and give as gifts to others. Therefore, the necessitating factors for creating the hit are a kuchen that is unique, attractive, and tasty. The micro-behaviors of Jack, Jane, and Sarah produce the prototype kuchen. The prototype kuchen is called the micro-effects of Jack, Jane, and Sarah's combined work. The micro-effects are recombined to produce the macro-behavior. Let us suppose that Jack, Jane, and Sarah are attending a chocolate connoisseurs conference. By chance, they meet confectionery critics at the conference and receive informal feedback on their prototype kuchen. In addition, they receive formal feedback through Reber Company. This is one of the key differences between an organization in the hierarchical paradigm and an organization in the holarchical paradigm. Reber Company has a corporate governance framework that allows employees to form hits, unlike the traditional corporation, where people must work within strict organizational silos. Holarchical corporations permit employees to break out of their functional silos to create hits. This allows for faster innovation and go-to-market, thereby servicing customers better and faster. Now that we have an understanding of hits, the next question to ask is, what are student-led hits? Student-led hits are self-organizing innovation teams, formed and driven by students. outside the classroom, across disciplines, and often across borders. They apply the hierarchical paradigm to real-world challenges, rotating roles, sharing ownership, and building impact. Through creativity, ethics, and systems thinking, the key features of student-led hits include the following: autonomous formation. Students initiate hits around shared interests or challenges. Hierarchical roles. Leadership rotates. Every member is both whole and part. Real-world focus. Projects address campus, community, or global needs. Peer-driven culture. Built on a plus R, plus E, or what we can call simply R. The final attribute is global collaboration. This can span Webster campuses through Follow the Sun sprints. Why do student-led hits matter? Student-led hits matter because they do the following: develop leadership, teamwork, and systems thinking skills on your terms. Build a portfolio of real-world projects and professional networks. Prototype innovation ideas before formal curriculum integration. Cultivate a peer-driven culture of creativity and ethical impact. Now, let us look at an example of a do-it-yourself hits in action. How about we address something closer to home for you, such as improving Webster University students' quality of life on all of its campuses. The first step to take is for each Webster campus to survey students with a standardized survey. This means each campus uses the same survey questions. The second step is for each campus to create a Pareto chart of issues identified in the survey. The third step is for each campus to choose the top 3 issues to address for its specific campus. The campuses then share all the issues with each other. The fourth step is for each campus to create Holarchical Innovation Teams to address each issue. Those issues which are common amongst each campus should create global hits to address the issues. The global hits will use a Follow the Sun implementation strategy. Follow the Sun is a global workflow where work is continuously passed between teams in different time zones, enabling 24/7 project continuity without any single team working overnight. This ensures work progresses without delays, and best practices are shared for each issue. The fifth step is for each hit to use a standardized plan, do, check, adjust action plan template. The PDC helps identify the root cause of each issue. The sixth and final step is for each hit to present its results in an online Webster Hits Symposium. The symposium should include students, faculty, administration, and other stakeholders. This ensures transparency and clear communication and lays the foundations for next steps. With this example as a starting point, the question to ask is how to learn more on your terms. The first thing you can do is join the HITS LinkedIn group for resources, discussions, and events. Another thing you can do is organize peer-led HITS 101 workshops focused on principles, methods, and case clinics. A case clinic is an interactive or consultative session where students work together to analyze and discuss a specific case or problem. It is typically more focused on collaborative problem solving, whereas a case study is an in-depth, detailed examination of a particular case, such as an individual, group, event, or situation in its real-life context. Here is how a case clinic can work using the Reber generative dialogue. First, a person presents a real, current challenge she or he is facing. Second, a small group listens deeply, asks clarifying questions, and reflects back patterns or blind spots to the presenter. Third, the group applies Reber's generative dialogue to guide the process. For more on Reber's generative dialogue, refer to page 4 of Reber's HITS 3 guidebook. Finally, it is important to state, the goal is not to solve the problem for the presenter, but to help her, or him, see it more clearly and unlock her or his own next steps. A final thing you can do is tap Reber's public resources. This includes Reber's research map page, which can be found at this link. It is highly recommended that you read all his papers on HITS, as well as his LinkedIn essays on the corporate estate, and watch his YouTube video on the Holarchical paradigm. You should also connect with Dr. Reber on LinkedIn and join the HITS LinkedIn group. And most especially, follow Dr. Reber to stay up to date on his posts. Let us delve deeper and explore the question, how to apply HITS in your independent learning. First, form HITS study pods around course assignments, rotating Holarchical roles each sprint. Second, run micro-macro retrospectives after every session to align global feedback with local work. Leverage R, or human dignity, as your group culture pillars. Finally, document progress in a shared digital journal or blog for ongoing reflection. Another thing you can do is launch a HITS student chapter at each Webster campus. First, elect a core team, president, facilitator, communications leader. Second, draft a chapter charter based on Reber's HITS philosophy and principles. You can learn more about the philosophy and principles by downloading Reber's papers at this link. The next thing to do is to host regular meetups. These include ideation sprints, skill-building jams, and project pitches. Finally, you can recruit across majors by showcasing impact stories and social value. Another way to apply HITS in your independent learning is to leverage Webster's global campus network independently. This includes engaging in follow-the-sun HITS projects. You can form teams across London, Vienna, Geneva, Shanghai, and Tbilisi to work in rotating time zone sprints and share daily learnings by a shared dashboard. You can also hold a global HITS colloquium, alternating every year amongst Webster campuses. This would be a student-organized conference with keynote speakers from each campus, breakout sessions on HITS methods, and roundtable discussions on emerging practices. The opportunities are unlimited and great for empowering students to make a difference, both locally and globally, now that we have addressed expanding your learning with HITS. Now, let us address the question, how to apply HITS to help your career. One way is to bridge HITS to internships and work-study. First, map local partners such as startups, NGOs, and media outlets to your HITS projects for internship deliverable. Second, use your chapter portfolio to secure work-study placements in real innovation teams. Third, showcase outcomes on LinkedIn, in your resume, and at student research fairs. Finally, seek faculty or alumni mentors to guide your project's next phase. So, we will conclude this presentation with a final call to action and suggest 5 simple steps you can take after watching this video. First, post a 2-sentence introduction and project idea in the HITS LinkedIn group. Second, recruit 3 to 5 peers with complementary skills for your first HITS pod. Third, schedule a kickoff, and in your pod, define the mission, roles, initial challenge, and time zone plan. Fourth, document and share your journey publicly, such as with a blog, social media, and campus newsletter. And fifth and finally, plan your inaugural follow-the-sun sprint or global colloquium pilot. I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and as the HITS motto states, be someone special. Be ahead.